Hey guys, it's Ethan. I'm back on Wade's channel. Today we're going to be doing a 2-in-1 tutorial, 2 original tricks that I came up with using the same move. So I really hope you like it. Let's get straight into it. Right, first just go ahead and take any card you like. We use the 3 of diamonds and we'll lose it somewhere in the deck. It doesn't matter exactly where it goes. Now hopefully, if I give this deck a small cut, just like this, hopefully we can actually get your card, what was it, the 3 of diamonds, to come right up to the top. Oh, okay, it was the king, not the 3. But I mean, I was at least close with the diamonds, that's okay. Well, now I've got a challenge because I'm holding the king of diamonds with this hand, so I only have one hand to find your 3 of diamonds. So hopefully, think it's right about here. Is that, oh, now that's the king of diamonds, which must mean that this is the 3 of diamonds. Yeah, boy. Alright, I want to show you guys something else really quickly. I've actually got a device that specializes in vanishing cards. Now first just take out a card to be vanished. We use this one, the 10 of diamonds. Now I've got this device in my pocket, let's go take a look. The device is actually a distraction because your card is now completely gone. It's actually nowhere near the top of the deck and it's nowhere near the bottom of the deck. But sometimes the card actually likes to go back into my opposite pocket, and that's your 10 of diamonds. Alright, so that's a combination of my interpretation or my version of the KM move plus a one-handed Cardini change kind of move with this action, which we're going to be looking at right now. We're going to do the second trick first and then we'll go on to the first one second. So first you're going to have a card selected and you're just going to leave it on top just like that, right? Now what the move looks like from an exposed angle is just like that, right? Really simple, but there are a few things that we do to take this from just a move into a magical effect. So once you have this card on top, you need to do a wrist kill to hide this move, right? You need to kill your wrist and then come back around with the card going to the bottom. And so what I do to justify that is going to my pocket. So I turn around, I turn my entire body, and then when I come back, I've done the move. Now, the great thing about this is because you're turning towards your body, your hand's basically resting on your stomach, so you can use it for support when you do the move. You don't have to do it because it's going to be tilted down like this. You can use it for support to make sure you don't drop any cards. Now, when you're coming back to do this, and this is just kind of an add-on that I've done for this video, you can show it obviously to be not near the top, and then what I did in the intro was I just copped off the card into a gambler's cup and showed it to not be on the bottom, and then went to my pocket and produced the card. So that is the first trick. It can also be used as a color change. So say someone selects the 4 of clubs, right? You control it to the top however you like. You say, okay, we don't have the 4 of clubs, but we can take a different card, the 10 of hearts, and then we'll go to our pocket to get our card changing device, and then it's actually a distraction because the card has already changed and you've just done that move with the top card. You know, one thing to make it more silent is what I like to do. This doesn't really work for the color changing one, but when you're doing it as a vanish, to decrease the noise, just slide it back a tiny bit so that instead of your thumb, in the normal Cardini change, your thumb holds down this when you do the move. But for this, if you slide it slightly back and your thumb goes on the exposed part of the top card of the face down deck of this card, that way you can decrease the noise, right? So this is without that tip, right? And this is with that tip, right? So it's a very small difference, but I think it goes a long way. Let's move on to the second trick. Alright, so the second trick, first of all you're going to need to control a card to the top. Wade has lots of controls on his channel. He's got the cherry control, he's got a whole bunch of passes, so whatever you want to do to control the card to the top, just choose your favorite method, as long as you can get the card to go up to the top of the deck. And then what you're going to do is a double lift, right? Now for this, you're going to need to know the Stuart Gordon double lift, alright? And that looks like this, alright? So I'm going to do a really short tutorial here. There are some great tutorials on YouTube, so just look up Stuart Gordon double lift if you don't know it already. So first of all, pinky count 2 cards, alright? Then what we're going to do is come in. I do this with the middle finger. Most people do it with the third finger, but I prefer the middle finger. I think it looks less like a claw, so less tension in your hand means that, you know, it's less suspicious. So I come over with the middle finger and the thumb, right? And then I have my first finger in the middle of the card, and then I just bend the card slightly, and then my thumb comes down the face of the card. Now, a lot of people say with this that you need to use the side of your hand to make sure the card sticks together. I don't agree with that. I think that as long as you put that bend in the card at the start, then it should be very easy to do it without the side of your hand, so just on your fingers. So practice until you've got that down, because you're going to need to know, you're going to need to be able to end in this grip to be able to do the move. If you can't do that, you can always just do a normal double lift, then do a push off and grab it in the grip that you would end a Stuart Gordon. But it's definitely much easier just to do the Stuart Gordon double lift, and we're going to set it down on this upper edge of the card. Right, so then what you're going to do next is my variation of the KM move. So the KM move is a way of ditching the top card of a double. So if you've got a card that's second from the top, you can show it to be on the top as a double lift, and then ditch that card by just holding it back like you might do in a slip force, right, with these fingers here. So what I did with that is I didn't really like this wrist kill motion. So after I do a Stuart Gordon double lift, I come up and push off with my thumb like that, alright? And what that looks like with the proper angles is like that. Okay, so you're concealing this card, which is the card that you've just shown them. Now you can do this in the normal application of a KM move by doing a Stuart Gordon double lift and then another Stuart Gordon double lift to show the card as a single card, but for this trick we're actually going to be using it in the opposite way and coming up like that, right? So you've now, if you controlled the selection to the top, so we'll go with the selection being the 7 of hearts. You've shown them the queen, you're ending in this grip, you're going to come up and push the queen onto the top of the deck and hold it with your left thumb as you gesture with this card and say, okay, now I've got a bit more of a challenge. I've only got one hand to find this card that you're holding in your other hand. Now, obviously you don't want to show them this card, so what you're going to do is the same move that we learnt before. You're going to do the wrist kill, come all the way underneath the deck, just going all the way around like that, but with the face-up card. So eventually it's going to end up on the bottom of the deck. So when we put all of that together, select a card, control it to the top, do a double lift, a Stuart Gordon double lift, and set it down on the corner of the deck. Then you're going to come up, do the KM move. This hand is already in a wrist kill position. Gesture with this hand as you pull that card to the bottom. So by the time your hand comes down, the top of the deck is clear, right? Now you're going to do this very simple one-hand production. I'll teach it now, so all you need to know is the one-hand shuffle cut. Alright, so what you're going to do, hold the deck in straddle grip. First, you're going to take the index finger and pull down on half of the cards. Now it's going to rest in the middle of your second finger, and that's important because when you re-grip the bottom packet with your first finger, you don't want to be gripping it by the end of your finger. You want to be gripping it at the first knuckle of your finger, okay, so that you've got more space. So don't do the cut like this in one go, because that's not going to give you enough room unless you've practiced it heaps. So pull down, re-grip so that you're at the first knuckle, then you're going to come out. This packet is using gravity to fall between 1, 2, 3 and 4 fingers, right? So it's balancing there. This one's going to come up and over, and I find it easier that if this finger comes past the packets like this, eventually you can do it so that this packet doesn't need to rest on the index finger, it can rest on the bottom packet. So practice that. Once you've got it down, shouldn't be too difficult to get down if you already know the Charlier cut. Once you've got that, when you get to this position, you're not going to close the cut. Okay, you're going to get to this position, then you're going to stick your thumb into the deck and push up like that, and that's going to cause the original bottom card to flip on top of the deck, just like that. Okay, so the card starts on the bottom, you do your one hand shuffle cut, and it comes up to the top. The reason why this is called the one hand shuffle cut is that when you do your one hand shuffle, that's exactly the same motion that you're doing. So once you combine all of these things together, you have a card selected, control it somehow to the top, you do double lift, place it on the corner, come up, KM move, gesture, do the Cardini swivel move, then the one hand production to produce the card that you've just shown them, and then you can reveal that you actually did find their card already. Okay, I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments. I will be replying to all of the English comments, and Wade's going to be replying to the Japanese ones. So, hope you liked it. If you end up performing it, send me a video. I'd love to see people using it out in the real world. So, yeah, I will see you guys in another video. Peace out.